There are statistics in this world that make no sense. Facts and figures that just don't add up. Take, for example, our criminal legal system. Despite only making up 13% of the total Ohio population, 45% of those who are incarcerated are black. Black people are 3 times more likely to get arrested than white people, and once arrested, they are more likely to be convicted, and once convicted, more likely to experience lengthy prison sentences. As of 2001, 1 of every 3 black boys born in that year could expect to go to prison in his lifetime, compared to 1 of every 17 white boys. Or look to our healthcare system for other examples of shocking inequalities. African Americans and other marginalized groups suffer disproportionately from limited access to things necessary for optimal health, such as healthy food and medical care. Blacks have the highest mortality rate for all cancers combined. And while our national and local systems tell a lot about us, we can look even to our own homes, literally, to see racial injustices. In the first quarter of 2020, just 44% of black families own their home, compared with 73.7% of white families, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Only about 5.5% of whites had their loan applications rejected, a rate about half that of most minority counterparts. Without proper employment and opportunities for wealth creation, our minority families remain systemically disadvantaged. Whites made up the majority of the labor force. Among the major race and ethnic groups, Hispanics and blacks continued to have considerably lower earnings than whites and Asians. These inequities exist because of systemic racism, generations of racial discrimination rooted deeply in all systems of our society, systems that give privileged status and advantage to only some Americans, and systems that affect and in many ways determine the quality of our lives. A Mighty Stream is a collaborative interfaith initiative that is relying on the collective power of faith communities in our city to fight these systemic inequities, and we're asking you to join us as sacred activists. Okay, so you ask, what is sacred activism? Well, simply stated, it's doing what the good books of every faith tradition instruct us to do, to love and care for and respect the dignity of all members of the human family.
A mighty stream was started in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd. We felt the spiritual reawakening of our moral imperative to respond to injustice as people of faith.
In order to address the systemic racism that persists in Greater Cincinnati, our goal is to engage our faith community in greater involvement, civic activism, and interreligious collaboration.
A Mighty Stream wants to complement the valuable work already being done by the many groups and organizations in our city. And while each of our own faith traditions is working independently to improve our communities, we know that we can do so much more together as a united organization of spiritual activists.
A Mighty Stream, organized by EquaSion, will mobilize the strength of more than 30 distinct faith communities representing 13 world religions as a coordinated and collaborative civil force to remediate racial inequities.
AMS will work in partnership with organizations whose core competencies include identifying, assessing, and eliminating racial inequities in measurable ways to broaden community impact.
This initiative sets its sights on creating and sustaining a framework for disrupting the mindsets and behaviors that result in inequitable opportunities and treatment for individuals and groups based on their race and ethnicity.
Regardless of religion, we all are sacred activists. We all believe in doing the right thing. We all believe in humanity, love, and hope. So, what's the call to action? What can we do? Well, first, we can do more than just think righteous thoughts while sitting comfortably in our houses of worship. We must commit ourselves to take action, getting involved in efforts that advance racial justice. With your faith as your guide, working in concert with persons of other religions, and with the support of AMS, you will become a sacred activist for racial justice, an important contributor to the beloved community envisioned by Dr. King. Once you've made the decision to work for racial justice, a mighty stream will provide you with meaningful actions that will make a difference.
The name of A Mighty Stream was inspired by the well-known biblical passage from the book of Amos, popularized by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like water and righteousness as a mighty stream.
As a proud member of EquaSion and a sacred activist with AMS, we are proud to be guided by 5 resolutions. We resolve to discern our personal and communal biases and commit to transforming our lives for the greater good. We resolve to listen and learn from each other as we pursue anti-racism and racial justice in our personal and corporate lives. We resolve to address racism and racial disparities in our own faith communities. We resolve to eradicate economic disparities and systemic inequities in our spheres of influence. We resolve as an interfaith community to work with civic leaders and elected officials in advocating for policies that dismantle structural racism and the ideology of white supremacy.
I am Baha'i, and I am a mighty stream.
I am Jewish, and I am a mighty stream.
I am a Quaker, and I am a mighty stream.
I am Catholic, and I am a mighty stream.
I am a Sikh, and I am a mighty stream.
I'm a Buddhist, and I'm a mighty stream.
I am apostolic, and I am a mighty stream.
I am Muslim, and I am a mighty stream.
I am a Hindu, and I am a mighty stream.
Will you join our mighty stream?
To be a sacred activist, visit the EquaSion website.